This gorgeous violin virtuoso is making her presence felt in the world of classical music with her talent and hunger to become an even better musician. The 25-year-old Scottish-born child prodigy not only was a student of the great violinist Yehudi Menuhin when she was 10 years old, she also won numerous awards, including the Classical Brit Award for Young British Classic Performer in 2008. Besides performing at over hundreds of concerts with other renowned musicians like Leonard Elshipoy and Alexei Ryuk, Nicola has also made her mark in the movie industry. She was the solo violinist alongside the London Philharmonic Orchestra for the soundtrack for the Oscar-nominated movie Eastern Promises in 2007. But the popular classical soloist would rather play down her accomplishments.
I don't feel at all famous, really. I mean, in my home country of the UK, and in Scotland in particular, I don't, the places that I'm really well known, people are so chilled. They're like, in Scotland, rather than anybody going like, oh my god, that's her, they just will say hi Nicola, or like, how are you, or I liked your last concert. They just talk to me very normally. So and the thing, because fame in itself is not anything I've ever been interested in pursuing. It's not anything that I've ever been interested in being the point of what I do. So I don't. It's not something I consider or I think about.
Nicola may love playing classical pieces which are centuries old, but that doesn't stop her from reaching out to her fans through the modern means of social media. Just like many pop stars her age, she keeps her fans up to date on Facebook and Twitter.
Just being able to be a really good violinist and a really good, well-informed and developing classical musician, that's difficult enough. But I think today there is an added responsibility to communicate with people more.
Aside from performing, the 25-year-old has also been conducting masterclasses for children and adults for the past 8 years. In Singapore, to give a masterclass at Dunman High School, it seems that the pretty violinist has won herself some young new fans among her masterclass students.
I like her tone. I like her accuracy as well. Like, as if you heard her pieces, the Ravel she played just now, it was so complicated. And not many people can actually be so precise and so in tune.
Violin is not my main instrument, so I'm more of a pianist. But when I heard she was coming to Singapore, I did look up videos of her performances on the internet, and she certainly does live up to what people say about her. I think that she's a really talented violinist, and I hope to see more of her if she comes to Singapore in the future.
Nicola, who has given masterclasses to budding musicians of various ages in countries worldwide, like New Zealand, Australia and the UK, finds the most entertaining classes to be the ones she gives to children.
In masterclasses, it depends on the age. The really young children, that's always the most entertaining. They ask the funniest questions. It's usually really silly things, you know, how does it feel to be famous, for instance, or just like, what's your favorite piece, how many concert halls have you played in, and questions I can usually never answer. They're the youngest children, they ask me the questions that I'm like, I don't know how to come up with an answer for their questions. They're very hard.
I definitely learned a lot of things. Like, there are many things that I never knew I could learn from or improve on. And Nicola actually made me look at the piece in a different perspective.
As a teacher, she was very succinct, to the point. You know, she managed to diagnose my problems immediately. Then we managed to work from it from there, so it was easier. Also, she wasn't intimidating. I mean, that actually made it much easier for me to learn.
Nicola, who believes in helping young musicians realize their full potential as much as they can, became a board member for El Sistema Scotland's Big Noise project, where she works closely with children and conducts masterclasses in Scotland. Performing, recording albums and teaching all at the same time, is not surprising that Nicola can hardly find time for herself.
It's like my whole life is playing the violin and music, and I'm just trying to find as much time to study things as I can, because there's a lot of things like this, like sort of, you know, interviews and a lot of traveling and things that are actually not much to do with music. So I have to fight for my time to be practicing and to study music more deeply. I know that doesn't sound like a hobby, but It's like the second thing I try to do.
However, it's full steam ahead for the classical musician who is currently working on her 7th album. She will also be embarking on her silver violin tour around the UK and US later in March this year. Find out more about this gorgeous violinist in our other clip.